My favorite line in this whole movie: what's black and blue and dead all over? You. Matt Reeves, he's done it. That's Batman. So firstly, welcome to my new home. It's interesting. While Matt Reeves, he isn't a bad director, but the only notable films in his filmography is 2008's Cloverfield and I think it was like 2017's War for the Planet of the Apes, which would be his best film. This is the reason why I was nervous about this film's quality. I mean, sure, it looks good and it seemingly has all the right ingredients, but it's not as if Matt Reeves has the most top-tier level filmography, you know? So, I'll admit, I was skeptical. But guys, oh my God. I can't believe this, but Matt Reeves has achieved the unthinkable. Simply put, this movie left me speechless, and I had to sit on this movie for hours. This is a dense, ultra-realistic, gothically drenched in darkness, 176-minute-long, spooky, thrilling Batman epic. The fact that we open with Batman on Halloween is especially hair-raising. The world and the visual look of Gotham is a character unto itself. I love how it's so rainy and dreary. It's almost as if you could imagine Batman being shoved inside the visual worlds of Denis Villeneuve's Prisoners or David Fincher's Seven. That's exactly what the cinematography is like in this film, and oh my God, it's glorious. Okay, there's so many immersive camera shots peppered into this entire thing that you almost get the impression that one day Matt Reeves wants to tell a Batman story from a VR perspective. Listen, Christopher Nolan, I mean, Stanley Kubrick is my favorite filmmaker of all time, period. But make no mistake, my favorite living film director is Christopher Nolan. I love his Batman films. Individually, they are all a 10 out of 10, in my opinion. And Nolan's Batman films, they are my favorite cinematic takes on the character. In my mind, there's no doubt that Hans Zimmer's music is better. I mean, in my mind, there's no doubt that the cinematography so far, I would give the edge to Nolan's Batman movies as being better. I mean, people literally test out their latest, newest, greatest TVs with the opening to The Dark Knight to this day, all right? So in terms of like which one's cinematography would I prefer, I would give an edge towards Nolan's movies. I mean, Nolan's Batman movies from a cinematography standpoint, they're more spectacular for me, but I want to see it for a second time just to confirm definitively, but right now, this sounds crazy, but already I think this is the best Batman movie I've ever seen. The visual look of the film is so nerdgasm inducing that the whole thing is just so overwhelming. The music from the composer behind Lost, which is probably my favorite TV show of all time, Michael Giacchino, it's haunted and it's really starting to grow on me. Especially the fantastic theme song for Batman, which just bellows throughout most of this film. And it's oddly really inspiring. For some reason, outside of the film, I was like, this song is good, but it's not really. But in context to the film, the theme song and the music, it ascends to a whole new level. Something in a Way by Nirvana can be heard within this film, and it's the perfect song to go along with Batman. So much so that it's shocking that this song and Batman have never gone together before. That's crazy. They fit so well together. The fact that we hear some narrator work from Robert's Batman in this film is chilling. It gives off Martin Scorsese, Taxi Driver type vibes. And again, how has this not happened before? Where we're hearing like this voiceover work from Batman. How's that not happened before? The cast is brilliant. The opening and the ending to the movie are so different than what we're used to in a Batman movie. In fact, this whole film is just so different. It's jarring, but luckily in a good way. I know how this sounds, but this movie was so good, it was equivalent to seeing Batman again, but for the first time in cinema. And let me tell you something. Granted, I do have some nitpicks. I do have a couple issues, stuff here and there. But with that being said, no. Guys, listen to me. This movie is a stone cold masterpiece. And don't worry, I'm gonna dig deeper in my upcoming spoiler-filled review. But make no mistake, this movie right here, this is a 10 out of 10. I crowned Robert Pattinson as my favorite actor of all time last year. It took a long time for me to get to this point. And my God, Robert is the definitive Batman. He is the greatest version of Batman that has ever graced the screen. As Batman, I was not expecting him to be so creepy and intimidating and borderline vampire-esque in nature. As Batman, he is so disturbed, he comes across just as scary as the freaky villains he bumps into. He truly, without any error, because you know how people like to poke fun at Christian Bale's voice, he is the perfect Batman. The best possible Batman for cinema. He comes across as a mentally ill, drug-ridden rock star that just recently got out of a hellish prison. The world of this film and Robert's performance, it has more in common with 1994's The Crow than any other prior Batman movie, which is just perfect for me. Especially since The Crow is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I loved Brandon Lee so much in that movie. This Batman movie, it oozes a similar kind of darkness as that beautiful film. Listen, some may say that he sucks and he just seems emo and he's just dumb, but I totally 1000% would disagree with any opinions like that. I was shocked by how good he was. And I'm the same person who crowned him as my favorite actor of all time last year. And just so you know, prior to that, my only other favorite actors was Heath Ledger at first, and then Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I mean, just think about that. His Batman voice is just pure goosebumps. His intro into the film was equivalent to images from Alex Ross just falling off the comic book page. His bat suit is so dope, it almost comes across as a type of dark reptilian-like skin. I love that it looks worn, with so many imperfections, so many scratches and dents. It looks lived in, which is so wicked. It's also crazy how flexible the suit is. You almost get the impression that Matt Reeves demanded a bat suit that felt just as mobile as Adam West from back in, what was that, the 60s? There's a moment of Batman running down a hallway that blew me out of my seat because it gives me chills thinking about it, because we've never had a Batman that can move so freely, that can move so fluidly. Look, I really want to dig deeper into why I love this masterpiece, which I will do in my upcoming spoiler-filled review. But yeah, guys, you heard me. This movie is a masterpiece. A 10 out of 10. There's a moment where we hear a TV talking about the death of Bruce Wayne's parents, and Robert Pattinson's reaction to this, it's so nuanced, and it's so heartbreaking that it viscerally made me emotional. So much so it literally made me shift in my seat. There's so many moments that got me strikingly emotional, because this is something new for cinema. A ominous, epic, chilling detective story starring the Dark Knight. If you have the opportunity to see this movie, don't walk, run. I'm shaking. I'm still shaking. All right. I still feel overstimulated. And once again, welcome to my new home. We'll be moving in a few days from now. I'll be back soon, Slick.